Join me as I take a completely free train trip from DC to Manassas, Virginia. Hey everyone, welcome to a brand new Trains Are Awesome video. I'm Tom and I am standing in front of Washington Union Station, truly one of the most beautiful station buildings in the United States. We're going on a train trip today, which is my absolute favorite thing to do. So you might remember back in early July, I made a video about the Virginia Railway Express. And in that video, I went to an event that they organized, met some of the management of VRE, and got some VRE merchandise. At the end of that video, I said this: now I just have to actually ride a VRE train. Yeah, so despite having featured it on the channel a few times, I've never actually been on a VRE train, but that's all about to change today. Today we're riding on the Manassas Line, and we're gonna take it all the way to Manassas, Virginia. Now, I've been to Union Station plenty of times, but this will be my first time going to the VRE platforms, so we're gonna go look for them together. To get to the VRE platforms, first we'll have to walk through the main hall and follow signs pointing towards all trains. Once we're in the main boarding area, we'll look for signs saying VRE. Union Station is served by Amtrak trains as well as MARC commuter trains headed into Maryland and West Virginia. And of course, the Virginia Railway Express, which we are taking today. Our train is Manassas Line train number 325, which leaves Union Station at 1:15 p.m. So the Virginia Railway Express has two lines. There's the Fredericksburg Line and the Manassas Line. I'm taking the Manassas Line today. We're taking the 1:15 departure from Union Station. The reason I chose Manassas for my first VRE experience is because there are actually some reverse rush trains. So we're gonna go to Manassas, spend about an hour there, and then there will actually be a train headed back into DC that we can get on. Look, behind me there are ticket machines, but we are not using those today because we are traveling for free.
Sounds good to me.
That's right. In the summer of 2023, VRE has been running a promotion where no tickets are required to ride on Fridays. That means no spending money, no worrying about confusing fare zones. Of course, if you're paying for a monthly ticket, a free day doesn't really mean that much to you, but for me, this was the perfect opportunity to ride VRE for the first time. Train's not here yet, but let's head down to the platform. So these are the through tracks here at Union Station. So this connects the Northeast Corridor with the tracks going into Virginia. Those unfortunately are unelectrified tracks. They're used by VRE trains, but also by Amtrak Northeast Regionals and a bunch of long distance trains going to places as far as like Miami, New Orleans, and even Chicago. So the Virginia Railway Express uses gallery cars. The most famous user of the gallery cars is, of course, Metra in Chicago, but they're actually used all over the country. So basically the way they're set up is that there's a door in the middle, and then each half of the train is basically one large space where the top floor kind of functions as two balconies with a baggage rack in the middle. Oh, there we go. Compared to Metra, however, these seats feel a lot more comfortable. Today's trip to Manassas is about an hour and 15 minutes, so I'll let you know at the end of the trip if they're still comfortable. We depart Washington Union Station right on time. Immediately, we duck into a long tunnel. This tunnel actually runs right underneath the Supreme Court, the Library of Congress, and several congressional office buildings. It was also the site of a minor derailment on July 11th, just a few days after I filmed this video. Nobody was injured in that derailment. We pop out of the tunnel and wiggle our way through Southwest DC. Our first stop is L'Enfant, named after the architect responsible for designing the city.
Now at L'Enfant. This is Manassas Line train 325.
This is the only commuter rail station within the District of Columbia, besides Union Station. The Jefferson Memorial is the last thing we see on our right before crossing over the Potomac River. The bridge carrying our train is the Long Bridge. The current bridge dates back to 1904, though there's been a bridge at roughly this location since 1809. The Long Bridge is a huge bottleneck. The state of Virginia wants to greatly expand both VRE and Amtrak service, but none of those expansions can happen until a second bridge is built next to the current one. Then there will be 4 tracks crossing the Potomac. This will allow passenger traffic to be separated from freight trains. A new pedestrian bridge will be built as well. Our only station in Arlington County, Virginia is Crystal City. This station is close to Reagan National Airport and also provides convenient access to the Mount Vernon Trail for those who like to cycle. Our train zooms through Potomac Yard, the newest station on the DC Metro. This station was built on the site of an old rail yard, and I actually have a video showing you all the details of this station, so be sure to check that out. Before long, we've arrived at Alexandria Union Station. Alexandria is a lovely town with a beautiful station building, but we'll come back here at the end of the video. After Alexandria, our train is going to take a Norfolk Southern line and head towards Manassas and Broad Run, while the Fredericksburg Line trains are going to stay on CSX and head towards Spotsylvania. I think the split is right here actually. These tracks are called the Washington District, running from Alexandria down to Lynchburg, Virginia. Besides the VRE Manassas Line, the tracks are also used by Amtrak's Crescent, Cardinal, and some Northeast regional services. These tracks date back to 1854, when they were built by the Orange and Alexandria Railroad. After the Civil War, through a series of acquisitions and mergers, the line fell into the hands of the Southern Railway. In 1982, Southern merged with Norfolk Western to form Norfolk Southern.
Now at Roland Road.
Caution, the doors are about to close.
Okay, so I will say I'm quite impressed with how clean this bathroom is. This is the way it should be. It smells very strongly of coconut in here. I wonder what that's about. In 1984, the state of Virginia began planning a commuter service on the tracks between Alexandria and Manassas. After 8 years of construction, the stations were all built and the Virginia Railway Express began service. The whole line opened at once, and there have not been any extensions or infill stations since. It takes an hour and 10 minutes to travel the 33 miles between DC and Manassas, which is kind of outrageous. That's an average speed of under 30 miles per hour. Thankfully, the views outside are pretty nice. A lot of lush greenery. If you enjoy this video, make sure to subscribe to Trains Are Awesome. Remember to follow us on Instagram and check out our Patreon as well. The current Manassas station opened in 1914. In the 90s, the city bought the building and extensively renovated it. Since 1997, the City Museum has been located here. So inside the train station building, there's like the Historical Society, so I asked them for some tips for sightseeing, and I stopped by the gift shop, got myself a magnet. So the Manassas Line runs one more stop to Broad Run. Why did I get off here? Well, because Manassas Station is in downtown Manassas, a city with a lot of history and a charming downtown, and I'd rather see that than wait for a train kind of in the middle of nowhere. Not too far from the station, there are some old rail cars from the Southern Railway. The line through Manassas used to be part of the Southern's main line. That's not the only railroad history here in Manassas. The history of the city is inseparable from the American Civil War. In 1861, this location was the site of the First Battle of Bull Run. This was one of the first major battles in the Civil War, one where both the North and the South suffered large numbers of casualties. The First Battle of Bull Run was also the first battle in history where trains were used to bring troops to the battlefield. The Second Battle of Bull Run took place in 1862. Since then, the town grew thanks to its location at a spot where two railroads crossed each other. Today, the city has a population of 47,000. So my first impression of Manassas, it's a cute little town. It's got that southern charm, really beautiful brick buildings, lots of local businesses. Judging by the smells coming from the restaurants, a great food scene. Actually, I think my only complaint would be that the main streets through downtown are kind of treated as thoroughfares for cars, so cars are going pretty fast, it's very busy, very loud, and there are signs saying pedestrians should be given priority, but not much priority was given to me. It takes a while to cross the street here. So since I have over an hour here, I thought I'd walk through some of the neighborhoods next to downtown as well, just kind of get a feel of the place. Very beautiful houses, friendly people, lush green plants everywhere. I was just talking to a guy about his antique Chevy truck. He let me see the engine and stuff. I've been in Virginia for an hour. What's happening to me? They missed a great opportunity here to call them manicures. I love coming to places like this. It's why I enjoyed filming my Tom in the Midwest series so much. It's little towns like this that, like, knowing myself, I'd probably never live here, but there's a charm, there's history. This is America, just as much as places like Chicago, New York, DC are America, just as much as those beautiful national parks are America. Like, this is part of the story. Yeah, an hour feels like more than enough time to walk around downtown and explore. Of course, if you're going to go see the battlefield, you'll have to give yourself a little bit more time. The Manassas Line actually has 2 trains in the afternoon that go from Broad Run to Washington. The Fredericksburg Line doesn't have any reverse peak service, so it's pretty rare. Hopefully more in the future. I'm going to head to Alexandria, which is where I'll be meeting with Lindsay. And that train leaves at 3:46. But now here's the interesting thing, is I just checked the Amtrak tracker, and the Crescent going to New York is also scheduled to arrive here at 3:46. So I'm kind of curious which train is going to get here first. I think Amtrak's coming first. Dude, some of these parents here need to teach their kids railroad safety. Just a few minutes later, our train, VRE number 336, pulled in. Back on the train. AC feels nice. Let's go to Alexandria. During the hour-long trip to Alexandria, it began to rain really hard. Welcome to DC in the summer. But in true DC fashion, the rain was over soon. Meanwhile, Lindsay had arrived at Alexandria Union Station, just in time to see that Crescent train we saw earlier leave for New York.
Which far is that?
Look who I found. It's Tom.
Look who it is. As I tried not to slip, literally jumping off the train, I got a text from a subscriber on Instagram. I've actually been spotted a number of times already here in DC. If you see me, make sure to say hi. I love to meet you guys. Bad news, the rain's back. We sheltered in the station until the precipitation cleared. Then we took a nice evening stroll through the beautiful city of Alexandria. These reverse rush trips on the Manassas Line make it doable for someone like me living in DC to explore Northern Virginia by train. Of course, VRE has a lot of improvements that need to happen. Speeds are slow, trains only run on weekdays, etc., etc. But if there's one agency that wants to improve, it's VRE. I am very excited to see how the railroad will transform in the coming years. If you want to ride VRE for free, you better hurry. August 25th and September 1st are the last 2 Fridays that are free. If you have a Friday off, why not explore Manassas? It's definitely worth it. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.